Alright, this could be like one of the craziest videos I've made. As far as synchronizations go, at least. Alignments. I'm just pointing out an alignment and it makes itself full circle in the final date. It's kind of weird. This particular shooting, like, really tweaked me out. I was like, no way. Like, did this guy get shot in the conditions that they said? Like, he had his hands on the ground. I saw the video and everything because someone filmed it. And it was like a couple weeks after Nice. And, I had brought my awareness back onto the internet. I hadn't really been watching stuff. It was Orlando really that got me going again, being like, there's no way. Because I heard it and I'm just like, the first logistics I hear, oh wow, like inflated numbers and just a scenario that just doesn't seem likely. Bit just first off, and I hadn't been paying attention to the media. I was just trying to keep away from the media because it has done the same thing in the past where it lures me in, works me up, gets me to a point where I realize I can't do anything, and then I stop bringing up the fact that everything's just a little bit too in line. So a little bit this being my second video, I just want to talk a little bit about the synchronicity in my join date. It was like a little bit after the what was it? The Nice attack. I was actually home from work that day and I had my TV on and it was like people were saying like because it was 714, you got the 777 coding and I'm just like what's gonna happen? Like, is something gonna happen? And I had CNN on, and it's like I just like knew Anderson Cooper. The next thing that he was going to say was going to be like, "Oh, we're getting something in here," because like just his little demeanor, he touched his ear. I was like, "All right, what's about to happen?" And sure enough, they just started their Nice coverage, and I had it on the TV, and I'm like I was like checking my subscription updates. I'm like, wow, this is a pretty serious thing. And like, not many people are covering it. I was really a new channel. I was like, I'm not really going to like come out and say anything yet. And one of the first people I saw go up was like Jeff C. And like they started conversating about it. And then like other channels then hopped on board a little bit after that, saying basically the opposite. Jeff was claiming it was real. He's like, oh no, this is real, this is real. And I'm just like, what is going on? So it took a while for the other channels to catch wind of it, and then I saw them start making it, and I was like, wow, is this like, what is going on with the coordination here? And that's when I started paying attention, like, really to the media. And so the join date was a little bit after that. But during the David Seaman fiasco, I remember being subbed to this guy like at first when I was like coming back on the scene, seeing who was doing the gematria and whatnot. This was one of the first ones that like would pop up on my sidebar. So I subscribed, but I hardly listened to this guy because I didn't really. His different viewpoints on the thing kind of seemed a little bit different than how I approached it. So, I didn't really look much into what he was doing, but I know one of the first I saw I'm not going to get too much into this conspiracy because I don't really care about touching on that anymore. But he was one of the first channels to promote this guy. Just the way he presented it, something was like off about it. So, and then the semen thing, I was just thinking like 33, like degrees, like the water, and just like was tying him into the synchro and whatnot. But then I go to his about, and he joined. Oh, where's the join date? Oh, he joins 11/22, and I'm just like, are you shitting me? He joins on JFK's assassination, and I'm tying like what David Seaman's talking about and a little bit about Trump and shit. Like, they just freak me out. So I hadn't known what my join date was. And let me go to my channel and go to about. Mine's Pi. So right after I just made a video dissing Marty Leeds and saying he's just like a little like, he's a synchro guy. Like I was because his name's Marty Leeds, I was like, dude, he's like exhibiting the Marty McFly code. Like I was just like going a little bit crazy with it. But then I look back at my own join date. It's a 7/22. I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. Like I joined on Pi. Like what the hell? Like completely synchronicity. Like was not intentional. Did not even know. This is when I was drawn into this this little game on this. It's like basically like a info disinfo game on YouTube. I was just shocked when I found that out. But it goes even further because this is, let me see. So just searching Marty Leeds, he has 88 videos out right now. Okay? 88. Anyway, so just to recreate the scenario, I'm like, so this guy's main thing, he's had the Pi there for a while. He was the guy that led me basically on the Pizzagate, and I was seeing a lot of videos, but then eventually his was the one that made me be like, all right, well, what is this again? What are we talking about here? But yeah, so like I said, I was like this on after just seeing Pi, and then went to my channel and was like stop it. How do I go now? So at one point during the debate last night, Zach mentioned something, and I know he touched upon one of the shootings that done this summer was like a tribute to him, and the video I had watched, I didn't like remember the details, but last night during the debate, he's like, it was just like my situation. It was on my birthday. Like I used to do a group home. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, are you serious? Like, let me look into this, because what my second video was breaking down that scenario. I'm going to go to it right now. So that's what I'm just like, are you kidding? So this is the Kingsey, and I don't want to make this video too long. But while I'm doing this, I'm just like, you know, this is a little abstract, but like, is it really? Like, they have 3 stacks of pudding, 3 stacks of cups. Let's see. I had no idea that this was the psyop that Zach was related to Zach until he talked about the autism thing. Because this one, like I said at the beginning of the video, it made me pissed. Trying to get to another part. You can watch what I said. It was like my second video. My hands were up. But what the hell is this? So this is, I was just like, this is crazy. I was just describing the setup being a little bit over zealous for the amount of action that was going on. It wasn't really much going on. But he had the neon yellow. And Nice had just happened, and he's playing with a truck. So that's what I was like, what the hell? You gotta be kidding me. And then just now, I even found another thing in this. They have him down on the ground. You know, I say a bunch of stuff about this. His hands are up. I zoom in on the thing. I show that they even show him looking at the truck. It was like a white truck. Okay, so this is the new find that I found right now. I first said they're in a triangle here. This is what the heck? But then I kind of was like looking at this as like, it almost looks like a freaking rabbit here. Like a white rabbit, but this is the face. And because I remember commenting on how this was set up in the crest of the trees. It's like, this is like the rabbit hole. Like, how deep do you want to go? Like, look at this. And then his wife has the neon. And I have a whole video on neon. Like, this was the color of the shoes during the Rio Olympics. They had that there so that they just perpetuate that fear. It's just color coding, cognitive priming, and releasing it to a later stimuli, so they can just string that fear feeling all through the years. Watch, this is the color, guys. And it's so easy to infiltrate this within warning situations, because that's what this color is, warning. They're trying to give you a warning here. This is my opinion. But it was a bizarre story, and it was like right around the time that I started doing this. I'm seeing like if the comment's still here. I don't think so. Somebody had said something that Charles Kinsey. Somebody had said, "Oh, I don't know where the comment went. It's gone." They said it's almost like someone Charles Kingsley. So you'd have to add a G and an L, which L in Pythagorean gematria breaks down to 3, and G is your 7. So those are the 2 missing letters, and who would I bring up? This is the shooting. Here's another picture of it, just for some more logistics on it, or some information. Filmed by bystander cell phone, you know. So this was the shooting, some more detailed. He was 47. I'm sure Zach said that this number they keep flashing that to him, or keeps coming up. I've heard him say that in his videos. Unbelievable. Unbelievable to me that now this has come up again. I keep coming back to this, being like, but maybe it wasn't so abstract. It's tying in all the events. It's like a little thread between them. It's a couple things removed if you're not aware. So if you show this to people, they're like, stop it. But I'm sure a lot of my audience is going to be like, are you kidding? What's going on here? What's up with the synchronicities within my life and all this other stuff too? It's just so bizarre. It really is. Okay, so add the G and the L, and you get Charles Kingsley. And he's a social reformer, historian, novelist. He was a church priest of the Church of England. I didn't really look much into this. I'm sure there's a shit ton of synchro. I didn't even read this. I just was interested in the dates. Which, this right here is the same date 197 years ago. This is the same date that Pulse happened. A few weeks earlier. So that's like a little bit of some synchro with this. This is crazy. His works. Let's see what his works were. Charles Darwin, the Water Babies. I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure there's a bunch of synchronicity within this. I just don't have time to look into it. It just seemed like a fake name. And when somebody commented that it's pretty close to Charles Kingsley, and now I can't even get the comment, it's kind of odd. I think that's all I wanted to cover. I think it's 197. Let me just make sure. Oh, I thought I had the date. Oh, and the 55, the die at the 55, that ties it into the Marty McFly code. What, June 6th? Like, wow. That's like Pulse. And he died. This is the other synchro that brings it into right now. He died yesterday in 1875. So I'm just like, what? Because yesterday was when this clicked I'm like, I gotta go back to that event. I gotta look at more into the synchro of that. And there's some like, he founded the Chester Society for Natural Science. And what was what was their debate last night? They were debating the shape of the Earth. They were debating the science. It's beyond bizarre. So between Charles Kingsley's birthday, it was like Pulse 197 years ago. But I don't have Pulse here. That's what it would be. And then if you want to go to Kingsley, it's a month and 6 more days after that. So I don't know if anything could be done with that math. 197 is pretty extensive. It's a prime and it's also a twin prime, being 199. I'm sure Zach's covered the number. I swear I've heard that come up. I wonder what prime it is, to be honest. And then the video's over. Yeah, I got up to, what are we, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. And I'm going to end it there because that's just weird.